Helen here with Eyes on the Game, and I'm here being joined by the man of the hour, Paulie Malignaggi. Great to see you again. I know you just got back in town from England. Can you kind of talk about the Joshua Parker fight since you were there?
Yeah, it was anytime Anthony Joshua fights, it's always an event. It's always a spectacle. I think for any boxing fans, I think watching an Anthony Joshua fight in the UK is definitely a treat. So I've gotten to see several, and I've gotten to work several, and this was nothing different. Now, as for the actual fight, yes, a lot of people think it was a little dull. A lot of people think it was a little too tactical. Sometimes fights are like that. There were two skilled guys, and there wasn't a lot of action, and the only action there was in little spots. I thought Parker fought a smart fight in that he was trying to generate and draw Joshua out of his comfort zone, maybe get him reaching, get him making a mistake, get him anxious. But I thought Joshua did a good job of staying disciplined, and he didn't fall for any of that. Now, at a certain point, what happens? At a certain point, if you're the guy trying to set the traps and they don't work, you may have to take a chance, you may have to take a risk. Parker instead decided that he was going to keep trying to set those traps. It's a personal decision, and let me see if he keeps falling for him. Joshua didn't fall for them all 12 rounds. So maybe if you have one criticism for Parker, it's okay. Maybe at a certain point he had to come out of the shell, and he didn't, right? But then the other criticism could also be for Joshua, because Joshua was fundamentally very sound, set his distances, was very well balanced throughout the fight. But at a certain point, you're gonna have to show a little bit of creativity and maybe use that creativity to get Joshua to come on, to get Parker to come undone. So maybe there's a little bit of criticisms for both, but really a highly tactical fight, because as I was bringing out during the broadcast, they were fighting at a very close distance, but yet they were still respecting each other. When you're able to stand this far away from each other and still be calm and still be fighting, you're fighting at a very high skill level, and sometimes it's hard for people to understand. But overall, listen, it was a decent heavyweight fight. Has there been better? Yeah, but I wouldn't criticize it.
Now, what about the judging, like the scorecards and also the referee?
Yeah, I thought the referee probably got involved a little bit too much. He was a bit inexperienced, and at times it's tough to not only referee a big fight, but also referee a big fight with his massive guys like that in the ring. I always feel like a heavyweight title fight has to be refereed by a heavyweight referee. You know what I'm saying? Like a physically strong enough referee, a physically big enough referee to be able to pry these guys apart when it needs to, and be able to dictate that he's the authority in there when it needs to. And I thought the referee had a little bit of trouble doing that in the fight. What was the second part of the question?
Yeah, referee and the scorecards towards the end.
Yeah, I thought the scorecards were a little bit wide. I thought Joshua did win the fight, but I thought the scorecards were a little bit wide. And people are going to say, okay, this is why fighters don't want to go to England to fight UK fighters or fight Joshua or whatnot. I'm going to tell you like this, though. Anthony Joshua is a very particular fighter. He will always get the benefit of the politics of boxing because he is big business. You know what I'm saying? It's just directly the way it is. Now, in this particular case, I thought Joshua won the fight anyway, but I thought the fight was a little closer than the scorecards. But I don't think it has anything to do with the fight actually being in England. I think Joshua, even in the U.S., because he brings big business to wherever he'll fight, will get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the politics of the sport. Does it make it right? No. But it does make it so that, it continues the trend of what boxing is, and that means that, big business, they're going to push it a little harder, right?
Yeah. Now, do you think that Wilder, who already accepted the fight, and I believe, because I saw you retweet it, he posted something about it, and that he's willing to go to the UK and fight. How do you see that fight going if they fight, and do you see it happening maybe this year?
Yeah, I retweeted it because it excited me. I think everybody else should be excited, because I think that was one of the stoppage points of the negotiation, was where the fight would be held. I think if Deontay's willing to go to England, I think that takes a big piece of the negotiation out of the argument, and so now you only have a little bit more left to argue about, and a little bit more left to debate and negotiate. I really would like to see the fight this year, at least. I mean, maybe they can fight again. Maybe they'll fight once or twice, maybe even 3 times. Sometimes when you fight more than one time, it gets dragged out over a long period of time. I think that if these guys start fighting each other now while they're still kind of young, I think you may be able to get 2 and 3 fights out of these guys, because I really think they're quality enough fighters, quality enough athletes, and even quality enough men, be in the ring. They have character. They have, I really think that you could get at least a trilogy out of this.
But who do you think would win?
It's hard. It's hard because I tell you, and everybody always gets mad. Oh, wow, why didn't you pick a side? Because legitimately, you could see either things happening. Okay, Joshua's problem is he doesn't move to the left or right. He doesn't have that side to side movement. He's more with his legs or his defense, where he goes in and he's out. He's in and he's out. So against a guy like Wilder, who's 6'6", 6'7", he's going to reach you with those straight punches. Wilder's best shots are the straight punches. So Joshua coming in and out, going in and out, his exit out, it was working against Parker a lot of times because Parker was coming up short. But against Deontay, you're going to be on the end of those right hands. So I think Joshua has to adjust some of his defense and not just be in and out. He's greatly balanced in and out. He comes in and out. He's well balanced. He's got great fundamentals. But sometimes you're going to have to slip to the left or right so that you're not only not losing your positioning, but you're also not giving your opponent, like Deontay, the opportunity to go all the way back and reach you. You know what I'm saying? To go all the way forward and reach you when you're going straight back. Deontay also has an issue. Deontay's problem is a lot of times he gets himself out of position on defense. So you throw a couple punches at him and he'll wind up all over the place. So to the left, to the right, and his hands are flailing all over the place. A guy like Joshua, who has great fundamentals and is not all over the place, can take advantage of that because he can put him out of position with some throwaway punches and then hurt him. So you could legitimately see either thing happening because they're kind of foils for one another. So I don't know which one's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like both those things could happen. I'm not just sitting here telling you one guy could win or either guy could win, which is just a bland answer. Either guy can win. I'm telling you either guy can win, but then I'm telling you how I expect either guy to have the possibility of winning. So I really can't pick.